And we're back with some more Dyson Sphere project. And today we're going to get started on a little bit of a sort of a mall, nexus, whatever you want to call it. We're going to get it to produce our basic materials because I'm sick of handcrafting stuff. Plus, you always want to make a mall. First things first, this is going to be our sort of little mall bus. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work out because, you know, first times and all that. But I'm thinking this is going to be very simplistic. First thing we're going to do is produce the basic components that allow us to produce the mine. So that's going to be transport belts, or transport belt and sorters and mines. All of those. And then we're going to want to produce, where is it? Assembly machines and a few other bits and bobs. Yes, assembly machines and furnaces or smelters. Once we get all of those together, we'll be good. So I'm going to put iron, copper, and stone down this one side here. And a device right beside it can pull all them off. So let's just try starting with something simple. Quick change in plan. Turns out not a lot of things require raw ore. In fact, only one thing that I can find requires raw iron, and that is magnets. That's it. Everything else usually requires something better, or usually requires refined materials. So we're going to put in a quick furnace setup, and we're going to use that to refine the copper and the iron. Let's see how much of that takes. We'll do it back here, let's say. One quick smelter gives us that much copper. That's not quite enough. Let's maybe throw down another one. And then we can just sort of extend that out a little bit. There we go. And we're going to grab one of these, put that up. Oh, and I forgot. We're also going to want... Oh, wrong one. We're also going to want to put one out the other side as an exit. Come on. Come on. Damn it. My middle mouse button is buggered. I need a new mouse. I've never really worried too much about my middle mouse button, but for this game you really need a lot to spin around and see what's going on. It's like a 3D Factorio. Oh, well, that's still not going to be enough copper. And is that actually exiting at the other side? Why are you not producing? There we go. I just had that inserter or splitter on the wrong way. And that's copper. Then we're going to do something the same over here for iron. Though we're probably going to need to extend these again later as well. That's a quick iron plate setup. I think I'll just double this down and then we can move on. The first thing we're going to want to put onto this is transport belt, because transport belt is something we're going to need a lot of to complete this whole thing. So first up, we're going to grab a factory. We're going to need an assembler. Assembly machine level 3. We'll just, we'll stick it just a little bit further down to give ourselves a bit of space. Then we just extend these on a little bit past it. Nope, damn it. Alright. Yeah, that was a mistake. We'll maybe delete some of those. Whoopsie. To make transport belt, you need gears. And gears you make in an assembly machine. So what we're going to do is put one gear machine there, and then right beside it, we're going to actually put in not the gear machine, we're going to put in the transport belt machine. Wait, no, stop that here. We're going to make this into transport belt, which just requires iron plate and gears. Boom. Then all we have to do is extend this on just a little bit. There's fine, and then we're also going to want one of these, inserting it. Damn it, colliding with other objects. Fine. Why are you not? Give me a better angle. Yeah, of course you're colliding with other objects. I'm trying to insert you into it. So, the cog machine pulls iron plate in here into the cog machine, then the cogs are dumped over here into the transport belt machine. Transport belt machine is fed from this side, and then I suppose we'll put a little storage device on the end. Yeah, give us one of these. Yeah, we're going to keep the whole thing in line. It's going to be really long, but who cares? We'll figure out if that's a mistake later. Oh, god damn it. Stop doing that to me. Alright, we've moved that back a bit, and now this should start filling up a transport belt. Capacity for automation. Set the number of slots that can be automatically placed in items. Other slots can be manually placed. Okay, so... yeah, this just allows us to limit the chest size so that we don't overflow. Perfect. Now it'll only fill up to there with transport belt. I wonder how big the stacks can go. You know what? We don't care. We're going to need lots of them. So, that's transport belt automated. Then we just sort of continue this on, and oh my god, I didn't leave myself enough space. Doesn't matter, we'll take a right or something and we'll go that direction. We'll sort something out. Next up, what do we want to produce? Oh, well, probably the sorters, because we're using them. So sorters next. That makes iron plate, and it also takes those annoying... was it? Yeah, these things, green circuit boards. And they just take copper. So copper and... yeah, we've got this. We've already got both of those items on the belt, so let's make the green circuits first. We just hook up iron and copper going into this machine, and boom, we've got green circuits up and running. Now we just need to take those green circuits and feed them into our next building. Next building, get rid of that. Just using the copy so much, but what can you do? Then we're going to want sorter Mark 1. It's just going to take iron plate and green circuits. No problems. So we'll grab iron plate from here. Done. And then we'll take green circuits from here. And then we're going to need power, which will be from here. Oh, come on. Serious? Oh, lack of item. Remind me to put Tesla towers on the list of things we need to include in the mall. So, there we go. Now we're getting these suckers. I wonder what that will build up to. Actually, I wonder what this will build up to. I think if this goes up high enough, there's no real need. If 10 is all it limits out at... Oh, is that enough? We can go up to quite a bit more. We might... Yeah, I think we'll stick on a little storage device afterwards. Why not? So, stick that on there. Yeah. Perfect. Now, I'm leaving some space at the back in case you want to run some other materials in the background. This might be overkill, but you know what? It's early days yet. Yeah, that will do there. Boom. So now we've got 2 items done. Next. Well, I suppose we want assemblers, because assemblers is what we've been using here quite, well, judicious. Well, we've been just throwing down too many of them. And I've got 1 assembler left. To make an assembler, you need iron plate, gears, and electronics. Damn it, if I had been smart, I probably could have sandwiched it in between those 2 and done them backward. You know what? Maybe if we could do this... No. I'm going to make an entire new assembly line for this. We'll just stick it on this side of the bus. Very simple system. Gear wheels suck iron plate off that line and put it into here. This sucks copper and iron plate to make the green circuits, and both of them just dump into the central machine to make assembly machines. Now this will only be able to hold 10, but I think 10 should be sufficient for a while. Which reminded... Oh, that iron ore is looking decidedly weak. We're going to have to expand this a little bit. I love the way we had all of the resources necessary to get that going just right on hand. That's almost a solid belt of iron. I'm thinking 1 more. You know, we'll hold off. We've got some more things to add on, like furnaces. Yeah, we need to build furnaces as well so we can extend the copper and the iron plate as needs be. We don't really need a lot of stone, so we'll just hook up a quick mine over there, run a whole bunch of transport belt. We've got lots to spare. And that gets us stone onto our, well, main bus? Well, it's not really a main bus, I suppose. This is just to get ourselves started. And how many is in there? Yeah, 10 of them. We'll take them. Thank you very much. We now have 20 assembly machines. That should be more than enough to carry us through to the end of this. And what were we going to make? Ah, yes, furnaces. Christ. Okay, so we need stone, which we've got, iron plate, which we've got, but we need green circuits and magnets. Thank you so much. That's just going to be wonderful. We have almost got everything ready. We're going to share the green circuits from the assembly machine production facility with this furnace maker. The only problem is we've got everything we need: stone, circuit boards, and iron ingots, except for the magnetic coils. The problem is the magnetic coils require this magnet, and the magnet is only made from raw ore. So we're going to take the raw ore here, turn it into magnets, and yes, well, I know this is totally against normality, we're going to just hop that across there. And that should allow the magnets to flow down this side. Is it going to be high speed? No, but we don't need it to be. Remember, this is just a mall to get us started with the main basics. That... Wait, seriously, come on, pick them up. Yay, there you go. So, that will grab those, chuck them in there, and then they will get fed into the furnace maker. And then the furnace maker will start producing furnaces at some point in the near future. At some point in the near future. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so we've now got automated furnace production as well, or whatever it's called. What are these called again? I keep messing up the names. They're smelters. Okay, fine. It's assembly machines, smelters, and they are actually sorters, not inserters. It's going to be a little confusing. Alright, that's some of the basics. What else do we want to get in here? Probably the splitter, 4-directional splitter. We should probably throw in one of those as well, just for good measure. To round out the last of this, I threw in some of those Tesla towers and some of those wind turbines, just so we could have more power and more ways to distribute that power, because, you know, why not? Can't hurt. Ooh, we can only stack up to 20 of those wind turbines. I should really just start throwing them down. That's a decent start. Now, I have been laxing off on the research, and that is silly. The reason being, research is actually very simple for the second level. Turns out these red energy matrices, all they require is energetic graphene. Energetic graphene, it turns out, is really easy to make. You basically turn coal into it. That's it. A furnace, coal. Done. So we need to grab some coal and feed it into these matrix labs over here. I'm pretty sure we've got some coal right over here somewhere. Yeah, there's a bunch of coal. Let's run a line. Well, it seems like I'm not that smart. After running all of this around, I've realized I also need hydrogen. So these are not just coal, they also require hydrogen. I did not notice that. And hydrogen has to come from oil. So we have to go grab oil, and then we have to use that wherever we can locate it. And there's coal veins. Let's have a look around. Over here somewhere is the crude oil seep. There we go. Let's go have a quick look. Oh, we also unlocked flight. Flight is very handy. Press Alt, drop to the ground. So this is the crude oil sieve. It doesn't look very impressive. You know what, let's clear some of the junk around here so we can get a better look at it. Had to go make some steel and bring it back, but we've now got an oil extractor. Ooh, that's a big one. Righto. Can't stack them though. Nope. Alright. How do we get the crude back? You know what, let's do power first. We'll worry about that in a minute. You can go, well, there's no real easy way that I can figure out yet to bring all the power back to base. Like, you can't just sort of run and place them. You have to, yeah. Can you? I don't think you can place it on water, can you? What's your reach? Nope. How about, ooh, we do have these large ones. Was it wireless power transformer? Can we, no, I think that's a different reason for that one. Okay, power complete. Now all we're going to do is figure out what we're going to do with all of this. There's probably going to be piping or something required, right? Oh, unless it comes out of barrels. It might come out in barrels. We might be that lucky. Looks like this is a transport belt affair. Yep, there we go. I don't know how the oil is staying on there without pouring off, but I am not going to question it. We'll start running that back to base. We'll have to figure out what the production chain for this sucker is. Oh, I would like to point out, transport belt can be placed over water. No bothers whatsoever. Nice to know. Alright, let's head that direction. And we've got the oil well up and running, sort of. I say sort of because this thing's going to come with complications. Problem is, it produces two outputs, refined oil and hydrogen. That's a bit of a downside for us because we've got to dispose of, well, the oil. The hydrogen we have a use for. The hydrogen we're going to run down here and we're going to turn into science. But the actual refined oil, I'm not sure what we do with that. We need to find something to sink it into so that it's not getting in the way. For the time being though, we'll stick it in a storage container and we'll sort it out in a minute. First we want to get this science hooked up. We've already got the refined carbon or whatever the hell it is going in there. And then we just rotate this down. Oh, you know what? Let's maybe not go through there. And we'll come down to this point. Rotate in nice and close. Bring that across like that. Here comes our hydrogen, and our oil is going to get filtered off the opposite side until the whole thing backs up horribly. But for now, what we'll do is we'll get this, and we will say, you guys all go in there. Oh, seriously, we're out of power range. That's fine. We have Tesla towers everywhere. Boom, and that goes in there. And then we'll just run some transport belts at the other side and put it into our science labs. And there goes red science. Well, sort of. I think we ran out already. Oh, no, there's a piece. We're going to need more hydrogen, which means we need some way of disposing of this oil. So I'm trying to figure out what actually consumes oil. We might have to just burn it in a power plant. That might actually be the best bet. Oh, maybe that's what these thermal power stations are for. You know what? Let's give that a go. We'll just dump one in here somewhere. Oh, come on. Seriously? Okay, we're by the seaside. I suppose it is a little bit problematic, but we'll run you by here.
Station. Such power facilities need to consume chemical energy fuels. If you wanted to generate continuous and stable power, you need to ensure a sufficient fuel supply at all times.
There we go. Okay, that gets rid of the oil. How much does that generate in terms of power? 2.16 megawatts. Okay, that's a lot. Right, but that does at least give us a production of hydrogen. What's it like? Ugh, that's super slow. We're going to need more oil, aren't we? Well, that shouldn't be a problem. We'll just stick another one right here. Then all we have to do is double down. We'll just stick in a few sorters on this side. We'll just have them pull in from there. And then all we need is one of them coming out, so you can go out there. Done. And that should be that. Of course, we still have to, oh my god, we're not burning off the oil fast enough. Well, now it's time to figure out what it takes to burn off the oil so that we can do some research. I've been looking at the chemical plant here. It seems like the most likely candidate to dispose of it, and plastic seems like an option. Refined oil and energetic graphene, which is basically refined coal. We can turn that into plastic, though. We'll have to find out what we need to dump plastic into. There's also some of these things which are graphene itself, which we could find use for. If we find something that requires graphene, we can use sulfuric acid and energetic graphene to get rid of it. Now, where do you get sulfuric acid? Well, sulfuric acid requires stone, water, and refined oil. So if we can find something that requires sulfuric acid or plastic, we're probably good. Yeah, now we just got to figure out what kind of building block for science requires that. Throw in a few extra oil refineries and now we're actually producing a decent amount of red science. I mean, not a lot, but better than we were. The hard part is disposing of all of this oil. We need to find a way to get rid of it, and I think I may have an idea, but temporarily we're going to dump it in here. This is a storage container, and this is a short-term solution. So we are dumping it past a couple of thermal power plants just to make sure we get power. We have plenty of power. But at the same time, we're starting our research into, polymer chemical engineering, which allows us to get organic crystals. Now, organic crystals can be refined down, and they require plastic, oil, and water, which is good. And then once you've got those, you can then refine them down further to make titanium crystals. And then those titanium crystals are used to make yellow science, from what I can tell. So we're going to use the oil to make yellow science, but first we have to get polymer engineering, high-strength crystal, and structural matrix, which means we need to stockpile some of that oil. I can't figure out a way just yet to dispose of it any other way. So, yeah, we're probably going to need another storage container or two before this is over. Wait a minute. I just noticed there's this X-ray cracking. This is like advanced oil cracking from Factorio. You can basically take hydrogen, combine it with the oil to make more hydrogen and the graphene. Yes, we will immediately get into this. Yeah, we got 4 refineries going. That's churning out a decent amount of science. Just as long as I don't let the oil back up, we should be able to crank that out in the next 20 minutes or so. Now, let's just skip time forward a bit. I think I'll go grab a cup of tea, maybe put some storage on this, and we'll be back in 2 minutes. We have managed to get our hands on X-ray cracking. Now, complicated as it looks, it's actually not that bad. From what I can see, all we have to do is... It takes in 2 hydrogen, 1 refined oil, and gives you 3 hydrogen and 1... energetic graphene. So realistically, all you're doing is you're trading 1 oil, or you're trading 1 refined oil for 1 hydrogen and 1 energetic graphene, and the 2 extra hydrogen you use go straight back into the reaction. So you're converting 1 oil to an energetic graphene and hydrogen, I think. So this should be fairly straightforward to set up, though I am going to need a lot more space. Those oil refineries take a lot of space, and I tried to build by the water. That was a stupid idea. I think we'll move the whole thing over here where there's a bit more space to work with and not nearly as much water around. And this is what the new setup looks like. It took me a disturbing amount of time to figure out how to get this working. Well, to get it working, and I'm not sure it's actually working perfectly yet, but it's fairly straightforward. You put your crude oil in here, and your crude oil spits out refined oil and hydrogen. And the thing is, it spits out 4 refined oil and only 2 hydrogen. Yes, it's just fed 4 refined oil and 2 hydrogen. The 2 hydrogen gets immediately fed into this reaction, along with 1 of the refined oil. And where is it? Over here. And then what happens is you get out 3 hydrogen and 1 refined carbon, or energetic graphene, whatever the hell they call it. So it just means that all of the hydrogen being produced by these 2 can feed this 1 reaction. And then this converts, the crude oil or the refined oil that's coming out into a bunch of hydrogen. Now, it doesn't convert all of it. It only converts about a quarter of all the oil that's coming out into hydrogen and graphene. However, we then take the hydrogen it produces and dump it into the next one, and that produces more hydrogen and graphene, and then we dump more of that in there and there and all the way along. So all the hydrogen that's coming out of these is basically being fed back into them to break down all of this oil that's coming out, so that we end up with more hydrogen to fuel more reactions. Now, the way it works out, it should just about feed all of these, though I think I'm a little bit short on graphene. I haven't gone over the numbers, so I think we're going to have to feed in a little bit of graphene from the other side. Though I don't want to stifle this. If we feed this too much graphene, then we'll stifle off this, because... one moment, I think what we'll do is we'll just extend this on around a bit and, feed a little bit more in. Alright, I made a bit of a change. The problem being, this does not produce equal amounts of refined carbon and hydrogen, which is what we need to make this science. We need equal amounts of both. Or is it? Yeah, we need equal amounts of both to make them. Unfortunately, since that's what we need, what we have to do is throw in some extra of energetic carbon. I keep saying refined. I'm going to keep doing that. Apologies, it's just Factorio has trained me too well. Ooh, hydrogen fuel. Excellent. But yes, that means we're going to add this on, and what we've done is we've set a sort of priority flow here.
The data shows this is a planet without natural titanium veins.
Okay.
Perhaps you can get some by collecting gravel. If you need a massive titanium collection, you need to find a planet rich with titanium veins as soon as possible.
Okay. But yeah, over here you'll see this. This is set to priority. Right-click to cancel priority. That just means that this, on the inbound port, is the priority. So if any of the energetic carbon comes from this side, it will be used before we take from this side. That's to make sure it's all used in a timely fashion and we don't end up with a backlog jamming up the whole system. All the hydrogen gets filtered here and gets sent in this side, and yeah, the whole thing just appears to be now running quite smoothly and dumping research right into our system. I think we are good. We are very good. And currently we are researching what? And why is the top lab not active? What's going on? Well, the top lab is still only active intermittently, but we've managed to start eating all of the resources we're producing just about. I should maybe introduce another refinery. Dear God, that thing is just... I'd have to move this back a bit and then stick on an extra refinery. I added in a few extra production facilities here to turn as much of this hydrogen into more red science as we possibly could. Damn, I should have scaled up a little bit more. Should have learned my lessons. But you know what? That is going to be good enough because I need to get a bunch of research knocked out. Namely, I want to get the speed movement, the increased movement speed for this mecha, because even though you can fly, which is pretty cool, that's actually pretty awesome, and it moves you pretty fast, you can always be faster. And plus, I believe the speed bonus stacks with flight, so you get a 150% bonus while moving while flying. But if you move faster on the ground, you move faster in the air, well, 150% faster in the air. Alright, let's just not get some more research. I think the thing that's... I'm enjoying the game so far, but one of the weird things is once you start getting into the research things, it doesn't really open them in a way that makes me want to do anything in the background. I'm sort of just waiting until this research knocks out to get newer tech. I mean, there's a few things I can start playing around with to get plastic and stuff like that, but I'm not really that motivated. I'll have to have a look through here, but maybe there's something I should be building in the background while I'm waiting for the research to finish. So while I was waiting, I decided to expand production a bit, because of course you do. Now you'll see that all 6 of these matrix labs are, well, they're all working, and our research is now flat out all the way to the top of the labs. All we did is we stick in 1 extra oil refinery there to refine the crude, and then 2 extra here to take care of the outputs. And we're fully saturated. We're actually getting a backlog now. This is perfect. This is exactly what we want, and that should cause our research to fly out an awful lot quicker. Of course, all that old oil we had has been eaten away by those power stations over there, so we did have to maybe install like a few wind turbines. I just chucked down a whole bunch of them. Remember, we automated the production of them, so yeah, the planet's mostly covered in them. Well, a fair big chunk of it. As well as that, we also got a charging station over here. Where is it? This here? This allows you to recharge your mecha. So you'll notice there, that just shoots right up. Though that does sort of eat into our power supply quite significantly when we do that. We probably should just, use the regular reactor. Now I'm thinking we should probably get into some alternative power sources. I'm thinking we can go grab another oil well and just plug it straight into a thermal power station. Why not? I have just been letting the research go on in the background, just because. And there's not really much else to do while you're waiting.
You have unlocked the vertical construction technology.
Yeah, that's great. That's
facilities such as Matrix Lab.
Oh wait, yeah, perfect. So, where is it? Yeah, I built a bunch of these extras. So let's see if we stick a lab or 2 on top of there. That should hopefully improve productivity. In fact, let's stick 1 over here as well. I don't know if that's going to help. And we'll stick 1 on top of our research lab. In fact, I think we have even more we can put down. And we may want to queue up a few more of them. Never mind, we went through our entire backlog of oil, which was not exactly that much. I kind of feel like I'm at a loose end here when I'm waiting for research to complete. I could expand my power grid a bit. It's a little bit light. I'm sort of borderline, but I just don't feel motivated to do it. I could replicate this and just start making more of these all over the planet to speed up research. It just doesn't seem worth it. There's some researchers there that are unlocking, but it's... I don't know, it feels like the game is just sort of hit a stall point while you wait for a few things to catch up. For example, there's a bunch of stuff here I'm very interested in, like solar orbit sail? Yeah, you can start launching an EM rail ejector to launch a large number of solar sails to form Dyson swarms, which can then effectively obtain the radiant energy of stars, which sounds wonderful, and it's cheap. And then you get a ray receiver here, which receiving high energy rays transmitted from the Dyson swarm or Dyson sphere. The received energy can be directly output to the grid or stored as photons in a critical state. Basically, yeah, we can launch a bunch of stuff into space and use that stuff to get our hands on energy from space. However, you'll notice down there at the bottom all the resources it requires to craft that. Take special note of the blue thing in the bottom right where it has 20 beside it. I think to get that, we've got to get this sucker down here. So we have to unlock this first as well. Also, there's these magnetic sharp particles. There's a few other things we'll have to get to make that possible, but I really want to get into that. And that is the main quest. It's got a main quest line written through it, which I've just noticed. Also, I would like to get my hands on battery storage just to level out the power. But yeah, that's queued up and it's going to be a while. So this is going to take another 2.5 minutes to complete. And while I'm waiting, I'll just, maybe grab a cup of tea. So maybe I grabbed more than one cup of tea. Maybe I grabbed a few cups of tea and a night's sleep. Knocked out most of the research here on pretty much everything that is available for the two colors we've got. With the first two colors of research, you can knock out an awful lot. Right now we're knocking out reinforced thrusters, but that's not the thing. I've been going through just what you can build and what you can't build on this planet, and what I've discovered is this here is the logistics station, the hub of interplanetary logistics systems. The logistics drones will automatically transport cargo to the logistics station when you set the corresponding supply and demand. Alright. Now, to build one of these, we're going to need a bunch of titanium ingots. Now, titanium is not native to this planet. You can get a small amount, but you can only get those small amounts by, say, rocks. Basically, you go around and you go up to rocks, and some of those rocks will have titanium depending on the size of them. And you can use that to obtain small amounts of titanium, and silicone actually as well. As well as that, you're going to need a bunch of processors, and you're going to need these microcrystalline components, which require silicone. Now, silicone... There's an awful lot that goes on in this game, it seems. Silicone you can get, but only in small amounts by smashing up rocks. You basically throw rocks into furnaces, and 10 rocks get turned into 1 silicone over what? What's the time frame on that? Oh, 10 seconds. Yeah, so it's not exactly a high-speed production facility over here. I just threw together some silicone just to have it. So you're limited really on your titanium and silicone. You're going to have very, very low production of that. However, there is somewhere you can go to get more. Planets. Oh, and if you click this in the top right, it immediately orients your view top to bottom, or north to south, whatever way you want to look at it, and you can zoom out all the way. That's our little planet orbiting a ice giant. And then if you look around, there's other planets around here. So our solar system has 2 more planets, and the one that interests me is Adhil 3 over here. And you can see, we had to research this, but once you've researched the necessary tech, you can see what resources are available on the planet. Things of interest, it's got a lot of titanium. So there's titanium available on this planet, and silicone also available on this planet in large quantities. However, it is short on copper, which only has 118,000 copper and 102,000 coal. So copper and coal are in short supply. As well as that, there's no oil. So there's no oil, minimal copper and coal, and wind energy and solar energy are lower. Like your home planet has 100% in both of those. So we still want to go there. I think we want to go there so that we can obtain the resources of that planet, namely the titanium and the silicone ore in high quantities. So, what I did, first thing I did was I went over here and I did up a little bit of a power station over here to grab us some power, but at the same time I siphoned off all the hydrogen that was going into it, combined it with some of the titanium that I found lying around the place, and I produced some hydrogen fuel rods. Now, these things are not strictly necessary, I think, for what we're about to try, but, might as well use them. The reason I went with hydrogen fuel cells, if you look at their fuel chamber gen, it's plus 200%. Whereas if you take something like energetic graphene, its fuel chamber generation is 60%. And that's just to do with how quickly that your mecha can convert it into energy. I was in this energy bar down here, and we're going to need a lot of that. We're about to fly interplanetary. Right. Now, if I remember flight school, it's up like that. We're in flight mode. And then we're in space, I think. Okay, now I just gotta figure out where the planet is. Come on, planet, where are you? Oh no, I don't think we're actually high enough altitude yet. Come on. Oh, Jesus. Sail speed is 100 meters. We're still not getting off the planet, are we? Yeah, I think we're actually finally in space, maybe. Ooh. And we're looking for Adhil 3. Damn, that is beautiful back there. Adhil 3 is that planet over there. That is 2.27 AUs away. That's a lot. An AU is an astrometric unit? Or I believe it's the distance between the sun, or the Earth and the sun. And our sail speed is only 81 meters per second. How do we boost that? No, pressing space does nothing. Let me do some playing around here. Oh, found it. It's the shift button. Shift button allows you to accelerate, and in space, there's no drag, so... Alright, there we go. Of course, you'll see there our energy bar is getting absolutely mauled, but we're in a hurry. And we do have some hydrogen fuel cells. So let's just go. Oh, jeez. Okay, maybe I drained it a little bit too far. 989 meters per second. That's still a lot. I mean, a 1 AU, I believe, is about 7 light minutes. So, you know what? I'm not even going to try and do the math on this. I can see that the numbers are going down, and we will eventually get to Adhill. Oh, 1,000 meters per second, it seems, is the maximum speed you can hit. Yeah, I just hit shift a bunch of times. Looking at it now, I may have overkilled it a little bit on the hydrogen fuel cells. I don't think we needed that many. Braking? Just starting to think about we might want to slow down at some point. Nah, it's probably fine. Okay, 2.7, 2.4. I hope this is the right planet. And coming in hot. All right, let's aim for superhero landing. Superhero landing, superhero. No, that's right on the head. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. We made it to the planet. How much fuel did that use up? Bugger all. Okay, so I may have overdone it on the fuel. Right, it basically takes titanium and hydrogen to make that, so I used all the titanium I found lying around in rocks I'd harvested to make all of those hydrogen fuel cells. We probably could have got away with just using the graphene. Right. First things first, though, this new planet, I want to find out where the copper is. The copper is going to be our big limiting factor here, so... Where is the copper? Oop, there we go. Damn it. I may have overshot it just a tad. From what I can tell, I've been all over the planet and had a look around. This is the only copper vein on the entire planet, and will probably be what we base our base on. Also, can we build on top of all this ice? That would be curious, because this planet really looks like a perfect factory floor. Look at that. That is just nothing but factory floor. That is all the copper we're ever going to get out of this planet. I also brought along a wireless power tower and a bunch of wind turbines just to get us set up. Now it's time to build a factory on this planet. I think... Now, I let a lot of the research run in the background, but I think the plan is actually pretty straightforward. We're going to want to get our hands on these logistic stations. We can't quite produce them yet because we don't have access to a few things, but once we get a solid supply of silicone and graphene and a few other things, we can start pumping these out. And once we do that, we can start getting interplanetary transport going on, as in... Oh, nope. Let's go here. North to south. Come on. We need to find the other planet, yes. So we'll be able to transport resources between the two planets. Also, I'm pretty sure that this... Well, there's actually solar movement in this. So our planet over there, eventually we're going to be closer to it than we are now. We seem to be rotating around this way. At some point we're going to be parallel, and the distance between the two will be very short. I probably should have waited to do that. But so far, I'm liking this idea. Well, the idea is we're going to be making... You're going to make multiple planetary bases. And some of them will have resources, others don't, and you transport them between them. To get our power grid up and running, I'm thinking we're going to access this new resource over here, fire ice. So fire ice is a bit like coal in a way. You can just mine it and dump it straight into these power plants. That's going to give us about 2.16 megawatts per one of these, and done. We now have a power grid, though we do have to hook that up with our copper over there. Then we've got stone veins over there. What else have we got? Well, we're here in the middle. We got iron veins over there. Oh, there's the coal. There's the only coal on the planet. There's 102,667, and there's the coal over there. We got iron veins over there, iron over there, more fire ice. That fire ice is very plentiful and very useful to us. That's power, and it can be turned into graphene. Where is it? Yeah, there's a bunch of production buildings here. One of them is the chemical plant, and one of the recipes in this one that's going to be very useful to us is this one here. Recipe, graphene advanced. It allows you to take this fire ice and turn it into, well, one hydrogen and graphene. So boom, actually 1 hydrogen and 2 graphene every 2 seconds, which gives us all the graphene we're going to need. The reason we need that graphene is so that we can use these things. The EM rail ejector. Here's one I built earlier. Dear Lord, look at the size of this thing. Nope. That is awesome. That is just... Yes, I really want to use this. Though we're going to need to put in a bunch of infrastructure before we can start using it. Dear Lord. So it fires this into orbit. Choose orbit, none, edit orbits. So it fires a bunch of sails into orbit, and I think we can harvest the energy out of that using one of these ray receivers. But that's going to have to wait. I got to do a bunch of playing around in the background to see what's going on here. Also, I turned off the background noise on this. The background noise in this game was just driving me crazy. But yeah, well, sorry for getting so distracted. I know this is interfered with our regularly scheduled gaming. It's just, you know, when you run into one of those new addictions and you just have to, like, burn it out a bit. I'm interested to see where this game goes, and we'll be back to our regularly scheduled stuff on Monday. Sorry about the inconvenience. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and good luck.